this is going to be an attempt at minicast, some form of like just podcast, just talking points, things something that hopefully someone could just listen to and be like, oh, this is a riveting conversation. There's some good points here. There's two really nice people having a chat. That could be something that people might listen to. So that's what my attempt is here. It's nothing too serious. It's not like a interrogation. It's not necessarily look at me, look at you. It's just two awesome people having a chat. Hopefully, we get some interesting points. I can edit and cut things if we ramble on for too long about something. But hopefully, if we can get through it relatively like smoothly, and because my issue is I ramble. I mean, you know this.
You do.
I go on a jaw rant, and I end up just. I end up just talking and not stopping about just about one point as well. It's not like I'm embellishing. I'm just going one point non-stop. So I'm going to try not to do that.
Exactly.
Fingers crossed. No promises. So to start off, do you want to just like say a bit about yourself? Just a very small bit though. It doesn't have to be like a big old rant. Just if you were to introduce yourself to, in real life, you've got a friend and they're taking you to meet a group of their friends. Like, how would you be like, you go up, how would you be introducing yourself to these people?
I'm Nikki. I am a streamer on Twitch. I like to have fun. I smile a lot, hence Nikki Smiles as my name. I really like art. I love playing video games. Not very good at them. And I'm pretty easygoing, I think, Jordan.
Yeah, I think you're
pretty easygoing.
Low maintenance,
Very low maintenance.
Just chill.
Yes.
One of the lads.
I am. I tend to be that person that ends up being like one of the guys instead of one of the girls.
Cracking open a beer with the boys instead of...
I'm quite okay with that. I'm not very girly, I guess you could say.
Well, we'll leave that up to everyone else to decide anyway. So, right, I've done like 2 other mini casts that ended up going for like 2 hours. So,
okay,
I talked about a lot of things.
I have a phone call in 2 hours, exactly. So I gave you a lot of time to do this.
Yeah, they were like I don't even know what happened half of the time. The other ones I've even tried editing them.
I was about to say, have you edited them yet? Is it just like all over the place?
It's all over the place. It's a nightmare. Okay. Significantly.
We got this,
okay, we've got this. It's fine. No pressure. So something which might be good to talk about to everyone is, with isolation, things going crazy. There's a lot of craziness in the world, and even if there isn't craziness in the world, people do just struggle on day-to-day life. And I'm just thinking, what are a couple of like things day to day that either you do or like you think people should do, but you don't do anyway, because I mean, we're all our biggest hypocrites, aren't we?
Yeah.
So like, what's a couple of like things that you think either have helped you in the past or you think definitely help with like day-to-day self-care, making sure you can sort of just get through, like a really bad day?
Yeah. So, I mean, you know this about me, Jord, and I'm pretty open about it. I suffer with anxiety and depression, and especially with COVID going on and the isolation, it's been really hard not being able to see friends like in person or go out and do things. So the shutdown has been really hard. I haven't been really on top of my game lately, but I'm getting back into the swing of things once again. Haircut, big change equals more change. But I think having a game plan for the day, whether you write out your week and what you want to accomplish that week, or even just take 10 minutes in the morning and write down a list of things that you want to do or that you have to do that day, to keep yourself on track is really important. So that's something that I practice.
Is that like bare essentials? Or so like only
it can
like,
be
only essentials? Are we talking things that, so like, I need to wash the dishes, pop that down?
It can be really small things. It could be self-care things, just like make sure to brush your teeth, make sure to take a shower, make sure to go outside for 5-10 minutes and stand in the sun, go for a little walk. Or it could be bigger things, cleaning the apartment, doing something, paying a bill, whatever it is. I really think that if you make even the smallest list and you're able to check those things off throughout the day, then at the end of the day you can be like, hey, I did something.
Yeah.
Now we all have those days where we make our list and then we end up sitting in front of our computer and playing games all day or watching Netflix and it doesn't happen. But even just that attempt to focus yourself is really important.
Yeah.
And then go ahead.
I think it was good that you sort of elaborated on the what you're writing on the list, because for me, I'd have never even considered, brush your teeth, go outside for 5 minutes, think
Yeah.
like, even maybe like make your bed, like think
Yeah. Or
things.
like put real clothes on. Get out of
Yeah,
your pajamas.
yeah.
Like
Like I'd have never even considered that, but obviously I imagine there's a massive chunk of people where that is half of the battle sometimes.
yeah, 100%. I think I've had a lot of those days during COVID where I just wake up and I don't want to do anything. And then next thing I know, I've slept the day away or I've played games and I'm like, wow, I didn't even take a shower. I'm still in my pajamas. Like, what am I doing? And then that just eats away at you as well. And
Yeah.
then you start to get that like self doubt and your self worth goes down. And it's a good way to spiral, I guess. So even just accomplishing those small tasks to take care of your physical being is really important to keep trucking on.
Yeah, 100%. I think that, like, I think I made a mistake because I personally, I usually don't really suffer with any issues of and things like holding me back on the surface.
Yeah.
I think guys kind of they bury it quite deeply as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we don't even realize it's happening a lot of the time. But with the isolation, like even I've found myself just really struggling where usually it wouldn't even be an issue, and I don't know if that was, if that's like the whole situation happening, if it's a buildup of things. But I got into the habit of I'd waste a day, so I'd do something like I'd just do nothing or something that I wanted to do, and I wouldn't be productive
Yeah.
in any way. But I thought, what'd be a good idea if I like justify it and say it's okay to have a bad day, and I go, it's fine. We're allowed to have bad days.
Oh
Sometimes,
yeah,
and I was
100%.
like, right, it's hard enough just to survive this day. Never mind to do other things. So I kind of justified it, but then like I got into a habit of justifying it, and
Yep.
then it was like a couple of days, and then it turned into a week, and
Yep.
then I think it was almost 3 weeks of being a lazy sack of shit.
Yep.
And I was
Yeah.
I justified it all.
Yeah, and that's really easy to get into, especially during isolation where you don't have to leave or you shouldn't be leaving. You can't go see your friends and your family. You can't be social, which are things that forces you to get up and do things to get out of the house. Um, you're kind of just there and existing. And it is okay to have bad days, 100%. If you need a bad day once a week, have a bad day once a week, but try to be productive the other 6 days that week, even if it's the smallest of tasks. But yeah, I've been kind of doing that same thing with working out lately, where I'm like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll start next week.
I'll do it.
Blah
Yeah,
blah
it'll
blah
be
blah blah.
okay.
Like,
It'll still be there tomorrow.
yeah, it will. I'll get there. I'll get there. But I've also gotten to the point where like things are starting to not fit right, and I'm like, holy shit, Nicole, get your shit together. Like,
Yeah,
stop putting it off for another day that you're just gonna end up putting it off again and just do it.
yeah.
Like,
That's when I
you just
know
have to do it.
that's personally when I know I've like something's wrong when I'm putting on a t-shirt or I'm putting on a pair of pants and I'm like, these
It's
are
a little snug.
I was like, what's going on here? So I'm like, right, I'm just gonna like, eat half a portion every day instead of a full
Yeah.
portion, or sometimes I'll just like if I'll take my dog for a walk, I'll just be like, right, I'll have a little jog instead of my usual
Oh my
stroll.
god. Oh my god. The idea of you just having a little jog with Luna makes me so happy.
I just can't. I'm just like, right. But the issue is, I only do these small things. Like, I'll do like a tiny thing, and hope that it
Yeah.
works, and then I'll do it like once. I'll do like a
Yeah.
small thing once, and then be like, that'll compensate.
That will be fine.
That'll be compensate.
Everything's fine. Yeah.
No big
No,
deal.
it's definitely consistency is key.
That's where I definitely, I'm consistently negligent. So
Yeah.
that's about what I've got.
Inconsistent.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not good.
I feel it.
Okay,
I
so
understand.
to summarize, little things you can do day to day for self-care. Write lists, write a list of whatever tier of hardness as possible. So whether that's brushing your teeth, making your bed, eat your breakfast, eat your dinner, eat your supper.
Yeah.
Like things like that. Or it could be go for a jog, go to the gym. It could be clean your house. It could be put a wash on. It could be any list of any amount. And maybe, do you think like building that list up could help as well? So like you start off with a small
100%.
list, and as you start to manage the load, you can add a little bit to it.
Yeah, and once that those small things become a habit and you don't have to necessarily put it down on your list anymore because you're just doing it, you can just take them off your list. And then obviously if you start to see that you're skipping out on them again, put them on your list. But that way your list doesn't get too long where you're looking at it and you're like, holy shit, I have so much to do. I don't want to do any of it because that would be something I do.
That'd be worse.
Yeah, so once you get like habits down, take it off your list.
Yeah. A nice little game I like to do is like unpopular opinion, So what happens is you can give me an unpopular opinion and we'll sort of talk about the unpopular opinion just for a little bit. It's just something I tend to find you learn a lot about what somebody disagrees with as normal.
Unpopular pineapple on pizza.
That's kind of become a popular opinion though. Like
so I like pineapple on pizza. I literally had pineapple jalapeno and chicken pizza last night, and it's so fucking good.
Beautiful.
But most people that I talk to are like, "That's disgusting. Why would you do that?"
I think it's almost the issue is it's become trending and edgy to like go far beyond and completely disagree. Like I don't, unless like you really, really dislike pineapple as an entity, I don't understand like the extreme disgust that people feel, which is why I feel like it's a bit fake. It's a bit like you're kind of making this shit up. Like it's just pineapple on pizza. Like I don't really like olives. I don't really like olives, but I wouldn't be like, olives pizza.
Yeah, I've heard people say it's because it's like sweet and pizza's supposed to be like more savory. And it's like, but sweet and savory go together. That's why, okay, like pro tip. If you're doing jalapeno or pineapple, you have to do jalapenos with it.
Okay, I'll take it.
Because it's sweet and spicy, and it's like,
I'm not a big one for spice usually, but
we know, George.
I'm getting there. I mean, to be fair,
you're not getting there.
No, I'm not. But
your water's probably too spicy for you. It is a little bit now.
Yeah, last night, I did like I had a Wheel of Fortune thing, Miss Fortune, and I'd picked up some spicy Thai noodles from like this little Thai shop down the road, and I was like, they'll be pretty spicy. But for some reason, something possessed me to put 6.4 million Scoville chili sauce.
I knew that this was coming
in the noodles. I don't know, but I did it anyway, and I had a good 4 mouthfuls, but it was very painful. And then I was like, why do people do this for fun? Like people do this for fun. Like that's like, oh yeah, I love that burn. I was like, it felt like there was melting on the insides of me.
Yeah, I don't mind some spice. But if it's so spicy that I can't taste my food and enjoy my meal, then it's a little bit too much for me.
The worst thing was I could taste, I like the taste of the noodles was nice. I was like, oh, that's got it was a nice texture noodle. It was like, I wanted more, but it was very painful. So I was like, throughout the night, it was sitting next to me, and I was kind of like, I kept like going to eat some, and then being like, "No, don't do it!
Don't do it!
It will kill you, child. You will die."
Yeah.
So,
Another unpopular opinion that I get teased for all the time is wearing socks to bed.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if I do it on purpose because I know some people do it on purpose because they get cold feet and stuff. So like I've had that before where I've been in bed and I've took my socks off and then my feet got cold and I was like, that sucks.
Yeah.
But like usually I just leave them on because it's so much effort to go all the way down and take socks off and you're in
It
bed.
is.
It's like, sometimes when you got the
I
really smooth ones that just slide off your feet, that's not too bad.
You can just get
Yeah,
them
just
with your
like,
feet. Just like
yeah, just
wiggle your
get them.
feet back and
But
forth a
yeah,
little bit.
for some reason, I think because my feet are like quite large, I struggle to like. I have to actually like get down there and rip them off. Yes,
Yeah, I wear socks like all the time,
all the time. I know people.
and
It's part
people
of their
give me shit about
pajamas,
it.
though, isn't it? I know a lot of people wear it as part of their pajama get-up. Like,
See, I wear socks to bed,
do you have like
but
bed
I've been
socks, or do you just wear day socks to bed?
no, I just wear
Just
day
normal socks.
socks to
Okay.
bed.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just.
I mean, I do have some like fuzzy socks that
Yeah,
every
well,
once in a while
that,
I'll put on and wear those,
little
but
treat.
for the most part it's just like whatever socks I have on, or like if I take a shower, I'll put some socks on before bed. Like,
Hmm.
but people tell me that I'm a freak because I wear socks to
I
bed.
don't think it's a freak. I mean, because like you're living in Texas, which is pretty hot. So
Yeah.
are your feet not hot anyway? Because my feet retain a
No.
lot of heat. Like sometimes I'll like my feet are just roast like the big old lumpy roasts of feet. It's weird, but like so
Oh my
like
god.
and that's I live in England where like we were going crazy because it was like 28 degrees centigrade. And we
Yeah.
were like, oh my god, that's so hot. And then that's like every
Yeah.
day, like minimum.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you have to remember in places like Texas, everything inside has an AC.
Yeah.
So
How
it's
cold do you put
not
your AC?
usually in between 73 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. So I don't know what that would be for you.
It's probably like 22, I'd say. I'm just guessing. You guys let me know if
Here.
I'm right. I think I might be.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I have no idea.
I mean, do you think
Fahrenheit.
people actually know the convert? Like, people can just, you say like, oh, 15 degrees C, and they'll be like Fahrenheit, and then
Here, I'm going to test you. What's
okay,
15 degrees C?
what's 15 degrees C? I think it's 57.
It's 59.
Oh, so
Oh
close, dude! I could be
shit.
one of these people. I could be
You
I
could
could be the
be.
centigrade to Fahrenheit guy.
So, what would 75 Fahrenheit be?
Is that what you were saying? That you set your AC
That's
to?
yeah.
I said like
Here, I'll do
22 or something. I think I said.
it's 23.89.
Ah, dude, I know. I'm so good at this.
Okay, you are. You're
It's just because
bomb.
I think it's just because the amount of time I say to people, I'm speaking to somebody in America, and I'm like, oh, it was like 28 degrees here, and they're like, and then they'll look it up and they'll be like, that's like 81 Fahrenheit. That's nothing. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I like my skin is melting off me at this point.
Yeah, no, right now outside it is 93 degrees Fahrenheit.
Let me see what it is here. I'm really interested
So
now.
it's hot.
Feeling hot, hot, hot. It's 17 degrees C, which is, have you got the translation bubble?
Oh,
I just got. You should just
you
get
said
an
17.
17 outside here,
So it's 62.6
and that's
degrees.
quite
Oh my
warm.
god,
That's
that
a nice
sounds
day.
so
It's a
nice.
nice day. It's not like I wouldn't go out. I'd probably not wear a jacket outside today. So
Yeah, it's 34 degrees Celsius here.
that is
Hot.
That's hot. Yeah.
It's hot.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on swiftly. Right.
Okay.
So let's talk a little bit about the state of the world. Okay, which is
Oh
this is a
god.
bad one. This is a bad one, but I think everyone's thinking it. Everyone's thinking what is going on in the world. So if I tell you the state of the world, it doesn't matter what it's about. Just tell me a few things that you're like, this sucks. This sucks. This is good. Do you keep up with the state of the world? I assume.
So I do a little bit. Some backstory as to why I'm not as informed as most people is because politics is a very heavy topic in my family.
Yeah,
My parents and my sister are on like different sides of how they see things. And so it's always been, if you talk politics, there ends up being a fight and somebody gets mad at somebody and like it just it implodes. So I'm kind of like neutral-ish. I kind
Hmm.
of just like stay out of it. Obviously, the COVID thing is a huge topic right now. I believe that COVID is real. I am not one of those
As if we
people
have to
that's
say
like,
that, like
I
as
feel
if we have
horrible
to.
saying that,
Oh,
but people like my
yeah.
mother believe
Oh.
that it's fake. So I wear my mask, I wash my
Hmm.
hands, I stay isolated. If I go out in public, social distancing, all of that. Um, but I just wish America would handle this shit like everyone else.
I mean, we're not
Because
handling it
right
either.
now,
If it's any consolation, America's handling it worse, but
yes.
England's doing a pretty bad job. So that's always good.
Yeah.
Like we reopened bars before anywhere else. Like who does
Well,
that?
we had bars. So the state of Texas was the first state in the US to reopen things. Um, and it was a shit show. JT went back to work, and within a couple weeks, they shut it down because they had like 5 COVID scares at the warehouse that I was working at. That never shut down. Uh, I was there for I think like 2 months, and there was probably a COVID scare every week.
Wow.
Um, it's bad.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just bad. So COVID, I believe it's real. I just wish people would all get on the same page about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but unfortunately, since we are so very different and have our own opinions and beliefs and everything, I don't know if that's going to be necessarily possible. So I think that this is going to be drawn out a lot longer than
Needs to
what
be.
wasn't, yeah, that
Mhm.
what needs to be and what initially was projected. I wouldn't be surprised if we were in some sort of isolation, at least the US, because we're dumb fucks, um, until like the end of next year at this rate, unless there's some like super
Yeah.
vaccine that comes out. But
It's
even then, that's a far fetch. So
it is tough because it's like people are being stupid but they're only being stupid because the governments aren't being concise. The government aren't they're being very ambiguous, and that was the
yeah,
issue that England had was they were just like well you can go out if you need to, but then don't go out if you don't have to. But if you do have to go out, then make sure you go to this, but you're not allowed to meet your family, but you could meet with friends as long as you socially distance, but not with family. But you can't. And it was like you can go to
yeah,
a family member's garden and hang out, but you can't go into their house. And it was like
yeah,
just tell us to isolate or tell us not to isolate, because what's happening is people,
yeah,
like if they were very clear, just said don't speak to people, then and
yeah,
that was people know that's the rule, don't speak to people.
yeah.
And I think that's again what America's doing, is they're just like, well, we'll see about
Well,
this.
yeah, and then there's like rules about um so they just reclosed bars if I remember correctly, but restaurants they got up to 75% capacity and now it's back down to 50% and it's like i- it's not clear what is happening
Yeah, and I
or
think
what's open, what's not open, what you
mm,
can do, what you can't do. Like grocery stores are open, gas stations are open, but other kinds of stores are closed. And
mhm.
like I understand the necessity of a grocery store over
Obviously,
like a
yeah.
Best Buy,
But then
but
it's like wear a mask when you go to a grocery store.
yeah,
But it's like, is it legal, or is it down to the
yeah,
companies to enforce it? Which is, that's more stress on the companies because
yeah,
it's not legal.
yeah. So, and I know that they have a mandated mask situation at where I live. So now every business has a sign that says like mask is required in order
Hmm.
to enter.
No mask, no
Um,
entry.
Yeah, pretty much. I thankfully, but also kind of bummed that I have not seen one of those people that's like, I'm not wearing a mask. Like, I haven't seen a Karen yet.
The
I
infamous
really want to see
Karen.
one in
Yeah.
person. I really want to see this happen in
Would you bitch
person.
slap a Karen? Let's be honest, right?
Fuck yeah. Do you know me, Jordan?
I know. I just wanted everyone else to know you right here.
Yeah, no,
Shut the
I was
fuck up,
Karen. Yep, pretty much. Like, I was at I felt kind of bad, but I was at like Office Max trying to get ink for my printer, and some guy had his mask on his chin, and I just walk by. I was like, "Hey, nice mask." And he's like, "Oh, thanks." And he like put it up, and I just like kept on walking. He's like, "Thank you, thank you."
Oh,
And I was just
he
like,
might have just forgot.
I have no idea, but I felt spicy
You were like,
'cause
sus.
yeah, and I was wearing my hat that says "Leave me alone."
Yeah.
So
See, yeah,
felt
the
like
thing
it.
that like this was the biggest thing that I kind of think, because obviously there's like the people, it's fake, it's real, the numbers are inflated, the numbers aren't inflated, they're all the opposite of inflated. It's very
Yeah,
dangerous. Masks don't help. Masks do help. You know, like there's so
yeah,
much like conflicting things. So my resting thought process is, if you wear a mask for, you know, the next 6 months or so, whenever you go out and you wash your hands and you socially distance, and everyone did that, worst case scenario, we find out it's fake. And what happens? Nothing. You've worn a mask. Like,
yeah.
they've even started adding things like, if you wear a mask, 7 of your lungs will collapse and your kidneys will have failure from wearing a piece of fabric over it. And it's like, what? Okay.
Yeah, the people that are like, "Oh my god, I can't breathe with this mask on." It just drives me crazy because it's like, will you take a second to think about all the professions that have to wear a mask?
Yeah. Like doctors,
How is
nurses,
how is
firefighters.
somebody performing a 12-hour long surgery wearing a mask without passing out if a mask inhibits you from being able to breathe? Like, that it doesn't make any fucking sense
I mean,
at all.
that is right there a very good explanation as why masks will not collapse your lungs, because surgeons and doctors are in surgery rooms for hours. And how many have you heard in the news? Surgeon dies in mid-surgery from wearing mask. No, this has never happened in the history of the world. Except maybe
No,
maybe in like the 1600s, if they put like a pig's bladder over their face. You know,
yeah,
I don't
yeah. I
maybe
mean
then.
that would inhibit some oxygen going to your
Yeah.
lungs, 100%. But I just like my mom is one of those people, and I think what's happening yeah, I think what's happening with those people is it's not actually that they're not getting enough oxygen, or even like they're just saying these things so they don't have to wear a mask. I think it's like in their head, and it's like an anxiety factor.
Hmm.
Like, "Oh my god, there's something on my face. It doesn't feel right." Because a mask you have to get
Yeah,
used to
you
wearing.
do.
Like, it does feel a little weird when you start wearing it. You do feel like you're not getting as much air, but I think it's just they're going into like this panic mode, and then they're having other symptoms of panic attacks
Hmm.
that is leading them to believe that it's the mask causing it, when it's actually just their own body freaking out
Yeah.
because of something that they have in their head.
Yeah, like I used to own a
But
paintball
then all those
site,
people,
and having a paintball
yeah,
mask over your face is very, like, your entire face is like
yeah,
enclosed, and it does not feel nice. It's not an enjoyable
no,
experience. Even now, when I have a
no,
mask on, like my mouth gets all wet and dripping with my
you,
condensation. It's not very pleasant
yeah.
at
Oh
all.
my gosh,
But you know what? I'm like, yeah, I'd rather that than
the
die.
condensation. Yeah, I think for those people too, it's like they're experiencing something that they don't also believe in. Like my mom is kind of upset that I'm on antidepressants because she thinks that I'm going to become dependent on them.
Oh.
And that my depression isn't real and my anxiety isn't real, and it's something that I can just like
Oh, I was about to say. I was
fix.
about to say. Oh, because when you were saying, I thought you were saying that she was upset you're on your medication because she thinks depression isn't real. But then you're like, no, that's this, and then you're like, but she thinks it's not. And I was like, oh my,
Yeah,
this woman.
she doesn't.
I
And
never curse a mother, but you know what?
I love my mom dearly. I want to put that out there in this. I love her
I'm
dearly.
gonna DM her this meeting.
She's just really
Fixed.
crazy.
She's fixed on what she thinks, what she believes.
Yeah, she's very set in her ways. Um and she believes that she's right about everything and that she knows everything about everything and she has the answer and she's experienced everything and um I don't know. I love her, but she's a little
Yeah.
crazy.
I
So,
mean, I think you can kind of forgive normal people for being crazy because of, like I say, all of the indecision and the different information everyone's fed, and it's never like fed in a way that you would like not believe it, even if it's not
yeah.
real. So everything's believable to an extent. So it's really hard to pick a side as well, and it's very polarizing. So once you pick a side, other people don't just try and talk to you about it. They'll just be like, "You're a freak. You're a freak.
Yeah.
You're wrong. You're brainwashed." I have a lot. I
Yep.
have a very similar situation where I've got a lot of family members with differing views on the state of the world, and some of them it's we think very similarly, but then they just go a little bit extra, and then they go into like this dark like spiral of like things which kind of take away from the points that we're trying to make by so it's like, yes, this is an issue, but if you think about this issue, it's worse, so let's look at this issue instead. It's like, well, I mean, they're all issues.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
what I was saying before was worst case scenario, if you don't if it's not real and you wear a mask, that you feel uncomfortable. Worst case scenario, if it is real and you don't wear a mask, is you can catch it, you can die. You can give it to loved ones, children, elderly. You can give it to people you care about, and they can die. If you don't die, especially in America, the medical bills from
Oh my God, it's nuts.
you be in a coma for a few months with COVID on a ventilator, which people don't realize. A ventilator is literally tubes stuck in your throat, in your arms, to feed you, to help you breathe, to force you to breathe.
Yeah.
You're not conscious through this on a ventilator.
No.
So you're in this state while COVID does its process in your body. Sometimes you don't come out of it. Sometimes you're lucky and you do come out of it. But if you do come out of it, you can have further health conditions, which cost you money continuously. Your bills will be insane.
Yep.
So it's like, worst case scenario is pretty bad if it is real and you think it's not. Worst case scenario is not that bad if it isn't real, but you do socially distance, wear a mask, and do the things. So I'm just like, just do the
Get
things.
your shit together.
Just do the right
do
thing.
the things that you're being asked to do. It's not hard.
Oh, there's Khaleesi's bumhole.
Yep. Khaleesi.
She's flashing her bum. She's a cam girl.
She's on the bed now.
Right. If you could change one thing, any one thing about in the world, something we think's reality, something made up. If you could just change one aspect of anything, it could be something personally to you, it could be something globally, it could be something for the planet, it could be anything. Just any one thing that you can change, what would it be?
The first thing that comes to mind is global warming.
Yeah?
Just because everything is so goddamn hot now. Like, I remember
cool days 10 days ago.
I remember when it was nice and like tolerable, but now there's like crazy ass storms and it's so fucking hot. It's just so hot.
Hopefully I won't be one of them genies where you ask me something and I give you the worst possible outcome from your wish. But what we'd say is like, do you want to reverse global warming? Do you want to make it not a thing anymore? So you want to like stop the planet's deterioration?
I would like to reverse it.
But if you reversed it, what's to stop it just happening again and carrying on happening? People are just carrying on.
That's true.
And it'll just get redone. That's why I was, you got to be specific about this.
Oh God, Jordan. I guess I would like it to just stop. Just stop.
But not stop where it's at now though, because stop where it was like
10, 15, 30 years
ago. Just like go back 30 years, the state of the global warming, we just want.
But is that 2 wishes then?
Well,
now we're talking about traveling in time.
Yeah, that is true, yeah.
So if I can't travel back in time, then it needs to just stop like right now.
I mean, if you said it in one sentence, maybe it's one wish. So like, I wish global warming would have
ended.
No, because then because if I
would have stopped.
I wish global warming reverted back to where it was 30 years ago and did not advance or progress from there. Something like that.
See, but you're putting the and in there.
Yeah, it's true. If you put an and in a wish, does it work? No, it probably doesn't.
I don't think it does. I think it counts as 2.
Well, your wish is shit.
It is.
Okay, so
That's okay.
so on that topic though, if you had a genie that was a good genie, it wasn't a bad genie, and it just wanted to give you 3 wishes, what would your 3 wishes be? Obviously, the rules apply. Can't get more wishes. Can't make people fall in love with you.
So 3. Yeah, I don't want anyone to fall in love with me, honestly, right now. I'm in a weird place with that, but we can talk about that later. So 3 wishes. I think my first wish would be to be financially independent. And that doesn't mean like $1 million, billion. Like,
you just want like a sugar daddy who doesn't want anything from you.
Yes, I think I've had this conversation with you before. Like, I want a sugar daddy without giving them sugar.
Yeah, she just want to.
But apparently, that's not a thing.
Apparently not. I don't know why. It's
but
so
hit
strange.
hit me up, chat, if you want to be a sugar daddy without any sugar. No, just to be financially independent is a big fucking goal of mine. So that would be my first one. I think my second one would. Oh my god, I haven't thought about this in a long time, and I've been
used to
putting
think
off,
about this
like,
a lot? Was this like?
Yeah,
oh my
I used to
God,
have like
I want
3
that.
wishes where I was like, boom, 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 boom. But I don't feel like my wishes are like the same anymore. And now you're making me use my brain,
Look
Jordan.
at that. Isn't that a good thing though? That
It is a good
you've
thing.
developed and you're not in the same place you were. Because that's a thing, where you just get stuck in like
Yeah.
a never-ending spiral of the sameness. So it's good
Yeah.
that you've progressed and you've whether for better for worse, you've moved.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my second wish would be to repay well, I guess that could be financially independent too. No, I'm going to do it as 2. Repay my family for what they have given me.
Okay.
They've helped me out a lot, and so to be able to like give back to them in some way would
Compensation.
would be, it would mean a lot if I could get there at some point in my life. My third one might be a little morbid.
Okay.
I don't know how to word it. So my grandma has Alzheimer's and dementia right now.
Yeah.
And it would be to take that away from her.
But I mean, could you not just
before
take
she
away?
passes.
Could you not just have the cure for
I guess,
Alzheimer's dementia?
Yeah. Then yeah. Yeah, that
would be a
cure
good wish.
dementia and
Don't
Alzheimer's.
a bit selfish, just going for your own grandma, but it's fine.
Well, yeah. Okay, I
Gee.
guess I was like thinking in my little. It was like in my family head situation,
it's true.
but yeah, I think a cure for Alzheimer's and dementia is a really good one. I watched my grandfather waste away from that when I was a teenager, and it was super heartbreaking. And it's actually one of the reasons why I haven't talked to my grandma since I left San Diego, because I know she won't necessarily remember me. And like my last conversation with her the day before I left San Diego was so amazing and so good, and she was so lucid that I don't want to, selfishly, I don't want to ruin that for me. But I would like that to be something she didn't have to suffer with, because I know she's really frustrated about it as well. So
yeah, so all right. Potentially an unpopular opinion from me here, and maybe some suggestion, which could be completely wrong for you. Something that I've heard, I don't know where I heard it, but once somebody has Alzheimer's and dementia, I kind of think you have to. It's like a new person, so it shouldn't necessarily affect. So you have your memory of your grandmother and the life you've had so far. And then from now on, like, I feel like putting that into a box and being like, this is my grandmother, and then having a new relationship where it's not affected and it's just used to and how you interact. Because every time's a new experience a lot of the time once they get to a certain point as well. So it's kind of like, 50 first dates where
Oh yeah.
She wakes up every day and she doesn't remember anything. It's sort of
Yeah.
that. Also, my unpopular opinion side of it is I think people around people with Alzheimer's and dementia make it so much worse. The people who surround
Yes.
them definitely don't help, because like reminding them that they're forgetting all the time, that's what makes them
Yeah.
frustrated, because to them, they don't know any better. Like,
Yeah.
yes, they might forget that they've put something on, or they were going to use the eggs to scramble, but they accidentally hard boiled them. But like, that's not a big, like, they're not necessarily actually bothered about that until people keep saying, you've said that before, you've forgotten, oh, you've said this. And
Yeah.
I think that's really cruel.
Yeah.
Imposing
Yeah.
that on somebody who is going through something that you can't even comprehend, and making it about yourself. Like, oh, they
Yeah.
don't remember me. It's like, how do you think she feels? How do you think
Yeah.
they
And
feel? How do you think all these
yeah.
people who's suffering? So that's kind of
Yeah.
my unpopular
No,
opinion.
I agree with you to a degree. I think with my grandma, the reason why it's so hard for me to have to like introduce myself to her over and over and over again is that she was more of a mother figure in my life than my own mom was at some points. And so um to me it's really heartbreaking to know that all of those experiences she doesn't necessarily remember, or she could look at me and not remember who I am. And it is selfish to a
Mhm.
degree, like it is. And when I was around her and she would have memory lapses or be forgetful about things, I never was like, oh, we've talked about this. I made a honest, conscious effort to be very patient with her, but I know that some of my family members that are taking care of her and are watching over her don't necessarily do that, and it breaks my heart because you can see that she's frustrated with it. And like when my grandfather went through it, um he didn't he got so many things mixed up. He was in a care facility though, so he didn't have like the family there. But he never forgot who I was. um Even if it took him a little bit, he would always remember like, oh, that's my Nikki. But he he thought he was kidnapped by the Russians and kept in a basement, and had a horse that he needed to escape on to get out.
Wow. It's quite
He
creative then. It was quite
Oh
creative.
yeah, he
Mhm.
was super creative. So he had a lot of it too. But I know this isn't like my grandma isn't going to be the last person in our family to suffer from
Mhm.
this,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So it it will be an adventure when my own parents go through it.
Well, exactly. I mean, I think rightfully Alzheimer's and dementia, there's a lot of people who just despise it as a thing, and they just so much
Yeah.
money going into finding relief. I'm sure I read an article that could have just been, the Illuminati or something, where it was like, things that we're putting into our bodies nowadays, like the certain chemicals we're putting in, which can help make that faster and help
Yeah.
make it more prominent, which is why, it's like when, I don't know if it was because it was less of a deal, but the fact that like 1 in 2 people will have cancer in their life in today's world, I'm like, that is
That's fucking
how
nuts.
insane. Like,
It's terrifying.
you
Like,
know,
Jord, one of us could have
100%,
cancer.
and like that is something that's like, what,
Yeah.
like
No, I think
that's such a big
definitely
thing.
like what you put into your body is gonna help in the long run. And I know I vape and it's horrible. It's a bad habit. And I'm probably gonna be the one getting cancer, Jord.
No, because like, let's be honest, karma doesn't actually work, so it's probably going to be me, and you're going to be, you're going to be fine, and I'm just going to be
I'm gonna be like
never
95,
smoked in
just
my
like,
life, never taken a cigarette. I'll be the one to get it. Don't worry. You know how the world
yeah, no.
works.
I would be horrified if you got
No,
cancer,
I'd be
Jordan.
horrified if you got cancer, Nikki.
No, Jordan, I would
No,
be horrified if
I would be
you.
more horrified.
No, I the thought of that happening to anyone in my life, I don't know how.
Yeah.
I mean, I would honestly handle it and do the best that I could to support that person, but it it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
So
What's your favorite? We'll try and we've had a good conversation there.
we're moving on.
Moving on. What is your favorite drinking game? Do you have a favorite drinking
My
game?
favorite.
I know you like a bevy.
I do like a bevy. But I don't necessarily play drinking games. I would say back in the day when I was young and would party, um, Flip Cup was my
Flip
game
cup, yeah.
of choice. Yeah, Flip Cup was definitely something that I had some skills in.
Mm-hmm. So
I would
now,
flip
because
those
now
cups.
there's other it's pretty much flip anything now, isn't it? Like people do like flip a beer coaster. People like flip a cup, flip your phone. They'll just flip anything. If you've got something, flip a plate.
Yeah.
And it works. Because like
Yeah.
there's the flip thing, and then there's like the flip and the catch thing as well. I don't know if that's a different. Have you seen that?
I have no.
So
Where they're like flip and catch.
yeah. So like for example, it's like say this is on here, my phone.
Oh God, you're gonna break your
like,
phone.
Flip it and catch it. And if you did that, then you win, and then somebody else has to do it, and if they lose it, then they drink.
Oh my God.
Like there's things like
what?
I don't know. That's kind of like flip cups on steroids. I think that's maybe. I
Yeah,
don't. Maybe
I think
it's worldwide.
I'm too old for that now.
Mm.
I guess.
Mhm.
I'm out of loop, Jordan. I'm
Yeah.
30.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite funny. I was thinking about playing some drunk Jenga one time. Have you ever played
Oh
drunk
my
Jenga?
God. No, I haven't, but that sounds amazing.
Yeah. So
why didn't you bring that to TwitchCon?
I only just found about it recently. So it kind of like what would happen is you would have the Jengas and you pull one out and then there'd be something written on it. So it'd be like
Lord.
do a 30-second wall squat and then you put it on the top. And then some of them are like pick two, and then some of them are like take a drink, do a shot, do a twerk. There's like there's
do a twerk.
So you could, I think that's a really cool idea. If anyone, I went to a charity shop and I picked up this Jenga set. I think it was like £3 or something. I was like, yo, that's a steal. Because I was looking online, it was like 18 quid for some Jenga. I was like, what? So yeah, if you guys want to, try some drinking games, just get a Jenga set, write some dares on the top, truth or dare. If you're young, you could do spin the bottle, you could do kiss somebody.
Oh my God, spin the bottle.
Dude, what is it? 10 seconds in heaven? I don't know.
7 seconds in heaven?
It's only 7 seconds? That's not long to be in heaven, is it?
7?
7 minutes in heaven?
No, I mean 7 minutes.
Could be 7 minutes. Yeah.
I think it's 7 minutes.
Yo, but that's showing
7 seconds.
I was gonna that's like my sex life. What are you
yeah, exactly. See, some people you can do it, I believe.
Yeah, like because that was a big. Is that like because that's not? I don't know if I wasn't very popular growing up. Right? I don't know.
I wasn't either, Jordan.
But like in like America, I feel like I always think when I haven't done things and I haven't heard about things, like I assume that they're not really an English thing. So like I've watched a lot of movies and they were like little parties with like a bunch of kids and then they're all playing like 7 minutes in heaven and all of these like beer pong was like I didn't know what beer pong was really. I'd never played beer pong and I was like 22. Like
yeah.
And I'd never played it and I'd never like I'd been to a couple of parties and it was never like there wasn't a beer pong table. I feel like every American household has a beer pong table or something. It's
okay, I wouldn't say every American household, but you can make a beer pong table out of anything.
Is that a challenge?
I mean, at JT's place, we use like the top of his desk and some like moving boxes, like just stack them up and lay it across, like boom, beer pong table.
At TwitchCon, didn't we use like a breakfast bar that had like 4 different tiers, and we were just like,
and we were just like,
it'll do.
Yeah. You just make it work.
Yeah,
like,
that's true. Okay.
It's just how it is.
As long as it's not too serious, because obviously, like, I think didn't JT actually do like professional beer pong, where he was like. I'm sure he said he was, I don't know if he's just bullshitting, but he was like, he's like, the serious rules and regulations with it. And
I don't understand those. I mean, so I've lived in 3 different states, Oregon, Texas, and California. And I feel like wherever you go, there's different rules for games like that.
Yeah.
Like any drinking game, there's going to be
regional.
There's like regional rules. So I can't keep up with like, where your elbows at or how far away you have to be or like the 1 bounce in or the 2 bounces or the smack it to the side or the blow it out of the cup or like
There is a lot. It does differ. It's so different, like from different places. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like with every game though as well. So it's like you can play certain card games or dice games, and they just they add some rules in sometimes, and they just take some rules away. And it's like surely like there should just be like a website and it shows you the official rules. You know, these are the end. Don't unless you're trying to spice it up. Which, you know, we all like to spice up a game a little bit.
Yeah.
You can always add some different things in there. But you know, generally, let's just keep the rules to the same. You know, keep it exactly. Standard. Right. So here's a little bit of thing. Right, I've just got 2 different foods next to me. Okay, and I'm thinking, right, which one would you prefer? Which is like if you were to prefer, and I'm trying to think. Right, I'm going to have a guess. Okay, I'll say the one to this side is number 1, and the one to this side's number 2, and I think you would prefer number 2. Okay, so the number 1 thing, which is pretty good, and I feel like most people love these, and I think I prefer these personally, is Pringles. Okay. Do you like
Wait,
Pringles?
is it that?
No, not specifically this. I don't really like this flavor.
Okay.
I don't really like.
Because I was like,
I'm not a fan.
I don't like
this salt and vinegar. Yeah, no, I'm not a fan. But yeah. This.
But yes, I do like Pringles.
Okay. So, but I think you won't prefer that. I think you'll prefer this one, and I think it's, again, maybe a little bit racist of me, but I just think Americans really love sour things. So they're actually sour worms.
I would go with the Pringles.
Damn it! I was wrong.
Yeah, I don't like sour things.
Okay, there we go.
I really hate sour candy.
I've been proved wrong. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, I would even. How much I don't like sour candy, I would eat salt and vinegar Pringles over sour candy.
That's crazy. That's some crazy talk right there. You heard it here first, guys. She's a crazy woman.
I am.
Right.
Is anyone really surprised by that?
You pick 2 foods for me, right? Think in your head 2 things, and you have to guess which one I prefer. Hopefully, I've actually had it. You know.
I'm gonna go with thing 1.
Yeah.
Being.
And which one do you think which one would I prefer?
Oh God.
Before you say them.
You're gonna prefer the second thing.
Okay. I'm imagining.
So your first one, I don't even know if you're gonna remember these, but carne asada tacos.
California tacos?
Was it California tacos?
Yeah.
Okay. So carne asada, California tacos.
Is that what's that word? Carne asada? What's that? Oh, is that the bar the thing you went to?
Meat. It's meat. Oh. And then a pint of chocolate chip fudge ice cream.
Obviously, the second one.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
See, I know you, Jordan.
Honestly, the California taco, the California burrito, is that what you mean? The burrito?
I thought you had tacos. Do you have a burrito?
I had a taco. I had a street taco.
Yeah, it was probably carne asada.
No, you were far too drunk to remember. You were in a taxi back at this point. You were gone, right?
What?
What? I was with Indy. Me and Indy, we went and stood at this taco stand, and we had a taco. Okay, that was super late. Okay, everywhere was closed. The bars were all closed.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah, so we had a taco there. I don't know if I had another taco. I had the at Windsor's. I had that.
Oh, Windsor's, the Texas Mexican food doesn't fucking count, bro. No, you can't compare Texas Mexican food to Southern California Mexican food. Like, yes, I'm sure. Okay, before I get yelled at in the comments and shit,
racist.
There's some really, really great stuff in Texas.
To Texas,
because there is culture here too, but Southern California Mexican food is like, you can't get any better than that.
Yeah.
You can go to any Mexican food place and have like legit shit. Here it's hit and miss.
I think the issue that I had was I didn't. So I had it wasn't very nice. The little deep fried rolls, taco roll or something. I had a bunch of those taquitos. I had a bunch of those from like this little tiny vendor looking thing as well. High Stakes and Shrouded had some of those. I think I had more sushi than I did Mexican food. The best.
I love sushi.
I hated sushi before I went to America, funnily enough. So, well done.
Yeah.
And so yeah, the best Mexican food I actually had. So to tell you you're wrong, the best Mexican food I had was in Houston, where I went to like this. I don't even know. It was with Silent Koala. We had a. It was like a really, apparently it's a really good. It's like the best Mexican place. I can't remember what it's called. I'll have to find out.
Okay.
But we had like he was getting like sizzling plates of like fajitas, and we had like beef, and we had like wraps, and there was like cheese that was really cheesy.
So you had fajitas.
Queso.
And you, like,
we had like
own
queso, like cheesy stuff. What do you have?
Queso.
What queso? What do you have that with? Like it was like cheesy stuff. I'll have to remember. I probably have pictures, but it was really good, right? That was the best Mexican food I had in America.
I wish I would have been able to take you to Lolita's in San Diego, because Lolita's and Sergio's are like the best, and we didn't go to either one of those.
You didn't take me. What's wrong with you?
I was on too many things.
Too many legal things. We're law-abiding citizens.
All legal things.
Amazing.
But how did you like In-N-Out?
In-N-Out was good.
The burger place.
I think the was it the animal style made it better, you know?
Yes.
I don't think I'd enjoy it if it wasn't animal style, because it would just be like a bit standard. But
did you go to a Whataburger in Texas? Okay, good.
No,
like an orange and white burger place.
I feel like I didn't go to as many places as I wanted to, but like there was not really the opportunity most of the time. It was annoying. Because I wanted to, like, I didn't go to a Chick-fil-A because everyone was like, Chick-fil-A is good. And I just thought it'd be quite interesting to go to some of these like generic places for you guys that's not generic for us. Because all we have really is like, we do have a Taco Bell, but it's not, it's like, you know, it's like watered down Taco Bell. And we have like McDonald's and Burger King and KFC.
How is it a watered down Taco Bell? How do you water down Taco Bell?
Well, I think there's very much more limited menu than they have in America. I don't know if it's like, and obviously like, so for example, a McDonald's in England is very different to a McDonald's in America, and a McDonald's in Spain. Like they've got the meat
cuisine that's like for
and the meat's very different in every place. So the McDonald's meat in America is different to the meat they use in England, I'm fairly sure, because it was different to the meat they use in Spain. So it's I think that's really interesting that it's different everywhere. So I kind of wanted to try a lot of things, but you know, I don't think other than in the airport, because we had like a McDonald's breakfast or something in the airport, I remember.
Yeah.
That was the only McDonald's I had in America, which I'm kind of glad. I was trying to avoid things that I could have here.
Yeah, yeah. There's like this whole rival between Whataburger and In-N-Out in Texas, and being from California, like In-N-Out runs in my blood. So I just didn't know if you had that, because I was going to ask you.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Another unpopular opinion from me as well would definitely be, I'm not a fan of root beer. You know, like you guys.
I don't like root beer.
You guys had like root beer on everything. There's root beer everywhere, like just root beer everywhere, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, I like a root beer float every once in a while, but like throw some vanilla ice cream in there.
Spice it up.
Yeah, but root beer by itself, I'm sorry. I think if you just drink root beer to have a root beer, there's something wrong with you.
I think root beer has a place. Like I think if you like put alcohol, like rum inside a root beer, could be nice.
No.
Because like I feel like root beer is a little bit like ginger ale.
No, how dare you?
Yeah, it is.
I love ginger ale.
Okay,
root beer is disgusting.
Ginger ale's nicer, but like ginger beer is like the more
ginger beer is amazing.
What? How could I'm confused here. I feel like ginger beer and root beer taste very similar. There's like very cinnamony.
No.
Cinnamony.
No.
No.
No, I think that they taste. Root beer reminds me more of like black licorice.
Okay. Yeah, well,
which I hate.
Yeah, it's not very nice.
Licorice.
Let's be honest. You never trust a person who likes black licorice. That's what I heard.
Or root beer.
Which is probably like 80% of America. Hey.
Probably.
Yeah, so root beer is not a thing in England. Like, we don't like. You don't go and you
Good.
don't have an option like, oh, have some Coke, have some lemonade, have some root beer. And obviously our lemonade's very different to yours as well. Like it's like carbonated.
Probably not as.
It's like
It's carbonated.
yeah, so it's like it's not like
That sounds bomb.
it's just like carbonated. It's not like you can get cloudy carbonated lemonade, but usually it's just like it's
cloudy?
like clear. It's like you know, like do you have a cream soda? Do you have that in it?
Yeah.
Like just like the clear cream soda, looking like not like it's see-through, completely translucent.
Weird.
It's like just some white carbonated lemony substance.
Goodness.
Yeah, well, it's good because you can mix it with like vodka, lemonade, and a bit of lime, and it's almost like a sweet version of tonic, but tonic's disgusting. Sweet version of like soda water, probably.
Got it.
Yeah, so it's like a sweet lemony soda water.
I have mixed like American lemonade with Sprite, and that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of it's like
you're carbonating the uncarbonated lemonade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. I think we're going to leave it there. I think we've gone for an hour on the thing here, so that'll be good.
Yeah.
Hopefully you've enjoyed yourself. I've had a great time chatting with you. You've been amazing. We'll do it again.
This has been great.
We will do it again.
Yes, I really like it.
Yeah.
Awesome. How do I send this to you?
I'll send it to Dropbox or something. Can you just like?
Okay.
I'll invite you.
Whoop.
Yeah, if you just give me your email after this, I will send it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
This was
Thank you for having me.
This was the mini cast. Hopefully it's either edited and or really good and you've enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy it, please go and follow Nikki Smiles on all of the social medias. Find her everywhere, just Nikki_Smiles, I believe.
Yep. That's my Twitch. I think there's like 210 at the end of the Twitter one. I know. Someone else had Nikki_Smiles on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yep.
So go and check out Nikki, guys. Awesome, friendly, smiley, cheery, wunderbar. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ta.
Ta-ta.